Hi everyone, I want to thank you for joining me here today. I'm JP Robinson, and today our question is going to be quite simple. How do I, as a writer, increase the realism of my writing? And that's the question we want to have. How can we as authors increase the realism of our writing? Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel here if you are interested in getting free author tips and learning how to really generate and ramp up or elevate your writing skills. These videos are totally unedited and unscripted, just me sharing insight directly from my experience, things I've learned along the way with you. So again, let's get back to our question. How do we make our writing more realistic? Well, one of the things I like to encourage authors to do is to unleash their senses. And by that I mean quite simply this. We all experience the world in five senses, or as many senses as we have that are functioning. So for most of us, that's five senses. For our characters are also going to experience the world in which they are living through the senses that they have accessible to them. So assuming your character is not visually or hearing or anything impaired, you're going to unleash those senses and let your character experience the world around him or around her in that method, in that methodology. And that's going to carry over to your readers, and they are also going to vicariously experience the world that you're trying to create through the senses that you give them access to. So for example, I'm going to share a little excerpt here from Tree, which is one of my earlier novels written over about a couple of years ago, written out there. And there are one or two scenes in that novel where I really unleash the senses and use it to ramp up the tension, use it to ramp up the reader experience. Now, before I read this, I want to add a word of caution here. If you do this too many times, you will increase your risk of reader fatigue. And by that, I mean it becomes too much, too heavy, and can really slow your novel down. So you want to use this with caution. I encourage readers to use these senses, for all five of them or four or five of them, very sparingly, only in moments where you really have a lot of tension or a moment that you really want to get to the reader that this is a critical, immersive experience. Let me show you what I mean. The iron taste of fear made Vivian choke. What should she do if she only had seconds to live? Let me spin this over here so it's a little bit more right in your face. All right, there we go. What should she do if she only had seconds to live? Pray, I should pray. Her lips twitched uselessly. God help me, I'm too young to die. She was too frightened to close her eyes. She shook her head at Salome, willing her to pull down the knife. The vengeful rebel smiled and tightened her grip on its hilt. Salome stalked behind her. Now here's where we get some of these senses. Vivian felt her heart plummet. She saw the stained blade descend before her eyes. She felt Salome's hand jerk her head backward. She heard the shouts of the crowd as they bayed like rabid dogs for her death. Are you ready to pay the price, Aristo? The sharp edge of the blade bit into her throat. Now, Tree, which is also available as an audiobook, I do this a couple times throughout the novel, maybe once or twice again in moments of intense difficulty or into moments of intense immersive experiences. But again, it's not something you want to do all the time. So there you have it. There's one way to quickly and easily ramp up the immersive experience of your readers and pull your readers into the story, make your story a lot more vivid and realistic and relatable thereby by immersing your readers in that world. If you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful to you, please like it, thumb it up, share it. You know, that it always helps me out as an author and to help see that people are actually enjoying what I'm doing. And furthermore, again, subscribe to this channel so you continue to get these videos that come out twice a week to help you grow for free on my YouTube channel. Last but not least, you can check out the links below to some writing books and writing resources that I have accessible unto you. And if you have a question or a comment about this video or any other writing questions that have come up, please, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and maybe they'll get picked up for a future video. Thanks for joining me. I'm JP Robinson.